Hello, everyone. It is Pat. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I am coming on today with sort of a reading for the end of the year. Obviously, I was a little bit, this is late to get on for a November reading. We're halfway through the month. So I decided to just come on and do something for, now through the end of the year, a forecast. Pulling on our angel cards and stuff like that to get an idea of the energies that we're going to be that are kind of around, through this end of the year of 2025. It's hard to believe that we're already at the end of this year. Anyways, for those who don't know me, my name is Pat Rainville. I'm a Reiki master. I do some life coaching. And if you are interested in seeing what I offer, please do click the link below. I do have some freebie offerings if you're interested. So be sure, to check out that in the link below. But anyways, to get on for our forecast for this, the rest of the year here, I'm pulling on my Archangel cards, as I usually do, as well as some other card decks, just a little mix to get an idea of what's going on. So, and I've picked some of these ahead of time so that we, after meditating and calling on the angels and guides for messages and information for this. Okay. So for our archangels, who are kind of the overseers, that's the way I think of it. They're the higher energies that are kind of giving us some info as to both messages and, kind of what's coming up with it. So there's a lot going on right now. And we actually are still, astrologically, we are still in the middle of Mercury retrograde. That's going on until the end of the month. It goes direct around the 29th. And oh my gosh, the political drama that's going on in our country between Epstein files and, the whole rigmarole that is a part of our daily news. So anyways, let's check in and see if we can get some insights on what's going on. All right. So for the archangels that came up for us, first we have Archangel Raguel, who came in with the message of relationship harmony. And so we're going into our holiday season. So I certainly think that's Raguel saying, hey, call on him if you are looking for some help with getting along with relatives. But it also indicates that is the energy of this end of the year. We're coming together on our holidays, having a good time with family or friends. Maybe you have a Friendsgiving or a friends celebration. But it's, a time when relationship harmony is definitely an energy of people coming together. And I do believe we, are, even though has seemed very divided in what's been going on in our government between the two parties. I do think this is indicative of some stuff going on behind the scenes where they're actually kind of working together. There's some harmonious things coming together there. Pardon me. And, we may have seen that recently in some of the voting that took place to push through the opening of certain files, et cetera. So there's that. I mean, this card has a rainbow to it. So Raguel is an archangel who, helps to heal and resolve arguments, conflicts, things like that. So we can certainly call on him and his energies to send him into situations and ask for his additional help, both for ourselves personally, but in, obviously these worldwide situations. I'll see if I get any other hits on that as we go forward. But in general, I think it's speaking to us personally for the upcoming holidays. It also speaks to things that we may see going on in the world, people coming together. And I think it also speaks to seeing people, despite what's going on in governments and war-torn areas, people reaching out and helping each other, extending their compassion. That's a lot of what relationship harmony is about as well. So now we also had Archangel Michael come forward with us with this, remember who you are. And when I saw this card come out, I felt a very definite hit about because I know recently for myself, I just felt like I was too caught up in watching this stuff. We're all drawn into the drama, or we can be. Maybe I shouldn't say we're all, but we can be very drawn into the drama of what's going on and get pulled into it. And let's face it, what's going on, what's going on out there right now in that outer world is it's a bit scary, or sometimes it can certainly seem that way. And it can seem like the world's going to hell in the handbasket, or our country is, or something like that. But what this card says is, remember who you are. You're a powerful, loving, and creative child of God, and you are very loved. So when this card shows up, what it's showing us for this time through the end of the year is that we are doing that. And Archangel Michael is helping us. We're kind of saying, I need to remember, who I am as a person, and not, who I am in relation to what's going on. What's going on in the outer world. I need to remember who I am, that I have my own power, and not give that power away to, the circumstances that are going on, and allowing that to affect our well-being. Okay. Because we remember who we are as a soul. There is power there. Okay. And each of us has something powerful and genuine to contribute. Okay. So, I feel like some of us are just ready to be who we are in terms of, I'm just going to be my authentic self as I go into these holiday celebrations, with family or friends, just being who you are, and not putting on airs or false labels or anything like that. You're just standing in your truth and being your authentic self. Okay. So it's a combination of those. We're pulling our energies back from maybe a little bit from, and not to the extent of like burying your head in the sand, obviously. I don't think any of us are doing that, but we're just pulling our energy back from it being sucked into all the drama that's going on. Okay. And remembering who we are as a being. So that's definitely, I feel like I'm overseeing energy of what's going on here. And we also have Jeremiah, who's come out with the message of life review. And it's take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. And so, actually all three of those cards kind of work together with their energies. Because when we remember who we are and we stand in our authentic self, it enhances our relationships with other people, because we've improved the relationship with ourselves. Okay. And it's no surprise. And life review is a lot about, as it says, take inventory of your life. We're kind of taking our own inventory, looking at our own side of the street, and what our role in things is. But I mean, review is part of the energies of Mercury retrograde. So it is a time where we review things, we reorganize, we, take time to have reunions with people, to reflect, to revitalize ourselves and our spirit, to nourish that. So there's a lot of that energy. And, and certainly, again, at the level of our government and world affairs, we are all there's a lot of review going on of, what's coming out with those, emails and stuff like that. Things are being reviewed, and we're reviewing. I want to say there's a lot of review going on as to the way things work, and that so much has gone on for so long. We've realized as a country and as a world that we need to really take an inventory of, equality, of how things are working. So it goes on, and I say it that way because these are energies, because they're archangels, these are energies that go on at a personal level for us, but also in the bigger picture of things. Okay. So, all right, that's what I'm going to say about those. And I'm going to move on to some other messages that we've got. Okay. And I I like to pull specifically from an Archangel Michael deck, especially when he's shown up in the Archangel energies here, because he's such a powerful angel. So one of the first cards that came out from him was this card of eternal love. And I feel like this has to do with our loved ones in spirit, that, you know, there may be a lot of us out there who are going through a first holiday without a loved one. And so it's a reminder of their love, that love is eternal and it's there for us. So, I mean, we're going into our holidays and remembering our loved ones who have passed and remembering that love that we have for them. And it's the same that they have for us. And they are around us. They are close. Okay. So that's what that reminds. That's what that card to me, you know, spoke to me about. As we go into our end of year and holiday season, our loved ones are around. That love never dies. Okay. And we've got this message from Michael to go forward fearlessly. So he's letting us know that it's safe for us to move forward. And I'm actually going to pull out the card, let's see. He's reminding us that we can call upon him and ask him about the next step. But that card also comes up when there's a major life change or a major change that may be coming up for some of us. We may have had, you know, some, our own intuition may be telling us to leave a situation or a relationship that we've had, whether it be with a person or with an employer or a working situation, something like that. It's having the courage. He's kind of acknowledging the fact that, you know, trust your intuition about this and it's safe for you to move forward. Okay. And let's see. I mean, if it has to do with moving on from a relationship, this card in conjunction with it is reminding you that, you know, you can move on with love. Bless what you learned from the situation, whether it be a relationship or, some other situation, a working environment, a group of people, a community. You can move on with love. Just bless it, bless the lessons you learned from it, and bless it for what it was at the time that it was there and how it served you and the other people involved. Okay. So, but he's letting you know it's safe to go forward, and he's encouraging. He's like, move forward with your plan, go forward fearlessly. So there's that message there from Archangel Michael. All right. I also pulled out here, looking into our end of year, The Angels, Gods, and Goddesses by Tony Carmine Salerno. So let's see. What did we get? Ooh. Okay. Well, one of the first cards that came out from this, which I know a lot of us will be happy about, is this Angel of Finances. And it says, honor and give thanks for the blessings that you're about to receive. So now, what I get, this may be like, work bonus money, or it could definitely come from an unexpected source. I will say, I don't think that it's, coming from our government. I know that here in the United States, I know that that's been floated out there that, we'll send $2,000 to everybody or $10,000 to those air traffic controllers. I don't think that's going to fully come to pass. I think that's a bone of distraction that they're throwing out there. So this is, I think, something that comes from other sources and perhaps unexpected ones. Okay. Which is always a nice thing. So it says honor and give thanks. And maybe a lot of you out there have been working on that, finance piece and allowing yourself to receive. And so this is a confirmation of that for some of you. All right. And so, of course, right along next to it, we got the Angel of Joyfulness. So we'll probably, there's some joy around receiving that. And actually, for some of you out there who are watching this, I feel like I just got this hit that it has to do with the end of a legal issue that may have been tied up. And in court or something like that for a while. It feels like there's a lot of relief around it. I don't know who this speaks to, if it's more than one person or more than one person, but I just got that hit as I was moving on to because the joyfulness felt like, yay, it's finally done. It's finally over. And you are getting the financial rewards from a legal issue or something that's been done and finished in the court. I mean, this could be something on the, at a more national level or something like that. But more immediately, I feel like it's an individual thing. If people are happy, it says something wondrous and magical is about to happen. Oh, I can't flash her too much because I've heard that YouTube doesn't. I've seen a lot of tarot card readers who are like coloring over if there are cards that have nudity on them. So I won't flash that one too much anymore. But anyway, she's got a lot of bright colors on her, the big blue wings and the purple. She's sitting in a purple flower there. So there's some joyfulness. I mean, a lot of us are very happy when we've gotten a big windfall of money. I certainly would be. That helps our situation that we're in. But and it also could symbolize certainly money coming into situations where people have been put into adverse conditions, like with the, pulling of health benefits, or the increasing of the raising of the premiums, or the SNAP benefits that were removed, or for people in other places around the world, like Gaza, where it's just where people are starving because supplies can't get to them. So this could be, certainly I'm getting a little bit of a hit that there could be an end to, with money coming into those areas. And it's bringing, it's like a miracle for some people. It's like, oh, thank God. Now, the other card I got with the this deck is this one. And it says it's the Goddess of Sacred Power. And what this card is about, it's a bit of a leadership card. It says you're being encouraged to take a leading role in a situation. So what I feel about this is that people are stepping up, and they are taking the lead on things. There may be, and it may be due to the, the joyfulness and the finances, but it could be also related to other things where you're in a situation where you're like, you know what, I'm just done with this. I know that this is, I'm kind of done with the situation. So I'm just going to take the steps, what the logical next steps are. What would I do? Who do I need to call? That's taking a leadership role in something, is when you just notice that something needs action. And maybe the people around you, or you're wondering why nothing has been done about it at a certain up to now, or what have you. Like, why doesn't anybody take care of this? Why hasn't this been taken care of? And you're like, you know what? I'm going to take care of it. It's like the universe is tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, so but I feel like it's also people stepping up and taking a leadership role. We've seen a lot of that already in with the people who organize protests, but it certainly speaks to, either small or other larger ways we're doing it in our own personal life. But in other ways, I feel like it's a continuation of, and actually, I actually feel, as I look at this, is that we have new leaders coming in. Okay. Let's see. I do feel like there, I want to say either in our own nation or in other places, there's new leaders stepping into power, is what I want to say about that. Okay. That's one of the hits I get about it. But what's important about this is that it's sacred power. Okay. The power brokers that have been in charge don't have a sense of the sacred. So it feels to me like there are more empathetic leaders that are stepping up and coming into place. Okay. And some of these, a lot of these be women. Because it's definitely, a feminine image on here. So that might certainly speak to feminine leaders stepping into positions of leadership, okay, and taking the lead on things. So that's what I get about those cards for our coming through to the end of our year. All right. Let's see what else I get here. I had pulled some fairy cards, and let's see what we got. All right. There was this one, perfect timing. Okay. And it says the time is right for you to move forward. And this is certainly in alignment with Michael's move forward fearlessly and taking the lead. The timing is right. The timing is right for it. Okay. Breaking free. Breaking free from a situation, a rut, a habit, a relationship. And we as a nation are breaking free. We are. I do feel like we are breaking free from just, there's a big breaking free, I think, that's going to go on with as things get exposed. I mean, it might, be a little ugly looking for a while. Let's be real. Because if a lot of the stuff from those files comes out and the emails that are out now, I just have a feeling that a lot of it's going to give us like ick. And maybe that's probably not a full and accurate description of it, but it may get icky for a while with that. But the important thing is that, it's the beginning of a breaking free from things that have been hidden, been held in place for so long, and things that they've been in place for what seems to be a long time, but they are not sustainable because we, as a whole, as a society, as a world people, there is a change in consciousness that is going on, and there are, the forces that keep the universe in place. When you look at that whole big world and the whole big universe out there, we're not in charge. There's whether you call it God or higher power, whatever, there's definitely a higher intelligence at work. And that's what's in charge. We're not. So, the earth still keeps spinning. The planets we still revolve around the sun. None of that's going to change. There are larger forces at play. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? We have environmental awareness. Okay, so this certainly, this is the fairy deck, and it certainly speaks to greater attention to the environment because there are still earth events going on. I'm getting a sense of landslides. I get that right now, landslides in places because either due to earthquakes or in places where I want to say where there's been excessive rain, like they're getting flooding and it's contributing to some landslides or movement, where the way flooding does that, it just sends mud sliding down because the places don't usually get a lot of it. Let's see, landslides. I feel this more along the West Coast, but both upper, all along the West Coast of the U.S. But I hope I'm wrong about that, quite honestly. Let's see. And this card has got the hawk in it, which is the messenger. And there's a larger look at national environmental awareness that's going on. I also feel like there's some revealing things coming up related to animal populations and what's going on with them. That has to do with our earth changes. Okay, so we may be hearing something about that on the news. I also get a sense of something to do with whales coming up. And I'm not sure, but it may have something to do with their populations or what they're doing. But anyways, there's something related to animal populations that's coming up with regard and playing a role to environmental awareness. All right. So the last couple of cards that we got out here from the fairies is this one, Spring, which says that everything fully becomes manifested as the flowers begin to bloom. So for some of you, I feel like it has to do with the fact that something that maybe it's some education that you're involved in, you're finishing up like some kind of degree or some kind of thing that you have been working towards accomplishing. It finishes up in the spring. Okay. That's your kind of, if you will, graduation time. Okay. I also feel when I look at that card that by spring, that some of this intense drama is there's going to be a lot that's taken place between now and then. A lot of really important changes. And by the spring, we'll all be feeling more of a relief, more of what we've been hoping would happen, a changeover that we've been hoping will happen, both for ourselves personally and at the national global level. By the time we get into the spring, I mean, it's not going to be entirely over, but we'll finally be in a place, I think, where we can breathe, like things will feel like they're getting back to a bit more of a sense of balance, maybe not necessarily normalcy, I wouldn't say, but more balance is coming back. And that's what that card feels like to me. And because the butterfly is coming in on this card, so it has to do with transformation. Okay, so and that's when things will be starting to bloom again for us when we get back into that place of balance. All right, and the final card that came out from our fairy friends is this one, Vegetarian. And so whereas the spring is more of a have faith, things are going to get better. That's more of a, not really a predictive card, I think, except for the end of the year. But it's like, okay, hang in there. Spring is coming. But the other one we have is Vegetarian. Okay. And so it says a new way of eating gives you more energy, greater health, clarity, and stronger manifestation abilities. So I think just in general, people may be exploring some more plant-based diets or incorporating more of that just because of stuff going on in the meat industry. Not to mention the rising costs of that. But and people may be, moving towards growing more of their stuff indoors. But yes. And, I mean, people are looking at it just for the increase in energy, because moving over to a more like, not entirely vegetarian. I mean, I hate that. I want to say that includes more, vegetables and plant-based stuff. I mean, beer and French fries are vegetarian, but that's not going to increase your energy necessarily. So it's some way of eating. And this certainly can speak to people who are looking to, just personally, looking into new diets that are better for their health, helping them to lose weight, et cetera. So, and incorporating, more of, fruits, vegetables, things like that. And there's probably, I do feel like there's more news and information coming out about it. Some things that we didn't know before about certain types of vegetable combinations, or there's just more information coming out about it, things that have been researched. And we're going to be finding out more about certain plants and their healthful benefits. So anyways, that's what I feel like is coming through with that. So that's kind of like an overview. There's definitely some take charge energy coming here with the perfect timing, the goddess of power, in Archangel Michael's move forward fearlessly. So, and, part of that leadership power and energy is Archangel Michael reminding us of who we are as a soul and that our power resides within us. And that power comes forward and helps us to take the lead on things. We feel, empowered and encouraged, and we are taking our power back. Okay. So those are some of the messages I get. I'm going to do a final, nice message from these are a little mini angel card deck from Tony Carmine Salerno. So I'll ask them okay, what do we need to know for the end of our year? What message, angels, would you have for us for the end of our year? Ooh, compassion flipped out. When you show greater compassion towards yourself, the universe automatically responds by showering you with greater blessings. And that definitely speaks to that relationship harmony card. And the Michael with remember who you are very much has to do with that. And taking an inventory too, as Archangel Jeremiah card mentioned, is definitely part of having compassion for yourself and other people. But that's what it's going to generate, I feel, is that inventory is going to be it's going to be generating and just compassion, I feel like, is going to be a big theme in this as we go into this end of the year. Because people are going to be extending it to places locally and globally that have been suffering. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching me today. Thanks for joining me for this end of the year forecast. I look forward to speaking with you soon. And definitely be sure to check out my link if you're interested in some of the services that I offer over Zoom, et cetera, readings, Reiki sessions, and there's a free discovery session for life coaching that I'd love to work with you on. So anyways, hit the like button and subscribe if you feel so inclined. And thank you once again for joining me, everyone. Take care.